Hello, Meadowview Elementary. This is Miss Horn coming to you. Today, we're going to pick up where we left off yesterday with Lesson 23. This is Lesson 23, Day 2, Telling and Writing Time. Okay? It says, read the problem when you look at ways to tell and write time. It says, Evan started eating breakfast at the time shown on the clock. What time does the clock show? Well, remember, we talked about the hour hand and the minute hand, okay? You can use the clock to find the hour and the minutes. The hour hand is between the 7 and the 8, okay? So if it's between the 7 and the 8, what has this? It's already come around here and past the 7, okay? But it's not on the 8 yet. So the hour would still be what? 7. Okay? The minute hand is pointed at the 4. So the minute hand we should know is the long hand. It almost touches the numbers. Okay? So the minute hand is pointed at the 4. Skip count by 5 4 times to find the minutes. Remember, guys, clock goes around this way. So we're going to go around this way also. We're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20. Because the hand is directly on that 4. So we know that he started eating breakfast at 7:20. And this is an analog clock. We talked about those definitions earlier. This is an analog clock. So now we're going to take a look right down here at picture it another way. Use a digital clock to show the time. The same time can be shown on a digital clock. It shows the hour first, then the minutes. A digital clock shows AM, which means during the morning, or PM to mean noon until midnight. Sometimes you may see the abbreviation written as AM or PM. Okay, so the analog clock here says that he started eating breakfast at 7:20 in the morning, AM, right? So, this is what this next part is asking you here. Let's look at your next page. It says, let me cover this up because I got ahead of myself earlier. Alright, so it says, connect it, understand and use the models to solve a new problem. What time did Evan start eating breakfast? Well, we just finished this sheet looking here and we decided that it was 7:20 a.m. So you just write 7 for the hour and 20 for the minute and a.m. for the morning. Alright, so it says this clock shows the time Evan finishes breakfast. Tell how you know what hour it is. Alright, so let's look at the hour hand. The hour hand is right here. Okay? Right here. So, look real closely. You can't really see it real good on my paper, but if you're looking at your book here, and sometimes it's tricky, I take the end of my pencil or marker and I go, ooh, I draw me a line because it's hard looking at it sometimes to tell. Right? So, it's close to the 8, but it's not quite touching it. So, it's still in the what? 7 o'clock hour. So, 7:50, 7 is the hour. And let's get the minutes. We start at 12 and go to 1, start skip counting. We got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay? So the minutes is 7. So 7:50 is when he finished eating breakfast. Okay? And you know this because the shorthand is pointing what? The shorthand is pointing in between the what? The 7 and the 8. Okay? And the hour is 7. Okay? Now, we already combined 3 and 4 and got the answer. It says, how can you skip count to find the number of minutes on the clock Evan finishes? We already did that. Okay? So 3 and 4, one's asking you the hour, one's asking you the minute. We just combined those two questions together. Alright? So what time did Evan finish? Well, we already got our answer. 7 is the hour, 7:50. And the analog clock, the digital clock from earlier told us AM. So we know he finished at 7:50 AM. Right? So try another problem. The first clock shows when Mark went to bed. Write the same time on the digital clock. Circle AM or PM. Alright, so this is the analog. This is the digital. Okay, so let's find out what time. Let's start with the hour, okay? This is our hour hand. And it's pointing in between the 8 and the 9, and our clock goes this way. Right? We know our clock goes this way. So that hour hand already passed by the 8, but it's not at the 9 yet. So it's still in the 8 o'clock hour. Alright? It's not to that 9 yet. Alright, so let's start at 12. We've got to know our minutes. What are our minutes? 8 what? Alright, so we start here. We go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Whoop! And the minute hand is right pointing at that 7. So we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So we write the minutes behind here. 8:35. But is it AM or PM? Do you usually go to bed at night or in the morning most times? Sometimes we take a nap during the day, but when do we usually say we go to bed? In the morning or at night? Usually we go to bed at night. We take a nap in the daytime. So that would be PM. Alright guys, that's another lesson on telling and writing time. I do want you to follow this up on pages 237 and 238 in your iReady workbook.